How can creators like us, who are new to building online businesses, who have high value skill sets, how do we scale our monthly recurring revenue, or MRR, to get us the freedom we desire? That is the question, and this newsletter will give you the answers. Be sure to subscribe if these are the types of answers you seek. My name is Boise Gordon, and welcome to episode 20 of Boise Talks Business. Episode 20. My sales philosophy has converted multiple people into six-figure salesmen. If you don't like sales, you need this episode. A conversation on my sales philosophy and achievement. All right, episode 20, the big 2-0. It does not feel like episode 20. I'll be honest. I feel like I started this yesterday, this whole journey. It really does feel surreal. I can't imagine what triple digits would look like. So we'll have to see what happens with that. But just to give you guys an update, I am thinking about changing the cadence of my newsletter / podcast. I might do every other day, just Monday, Wednesday, Friday, just to give you guys time to absorb the content. I feel like pumping them out daily, especially when they're going to be 15, 20 minutes long, is going to get very difficult to get people to see all of it, because there's always going to be more. You know, if you miss a day, then it's like, oh, wow, I did now have 2 30-minute podcasts to listen to. So I think 20 is a good enough basis for like a library if people want to go and binge content. But I think from here, I want to do like a more sporadic, well, not sporadic, it's not random, but a more spread approach to the publishing. So let me know what you think in the comments, or, send me an email at podcast@boisegordon.com and, send me your feedback. What do you think? As far as last episode, I shared my secret to consistency. And that secret is doing the bare minimums. Yes, I know it sounds weird. That was the point. But yeah, doing the bare minimums, just having a daily list of critical tasks, 2 to 5 things that you know for sure will benefit your business and your life going forward. Make sure that those things get done, and then you can prioritize the rest of your work if you had hopes to get other stuff done throughout the day. And you'll see an instantaneous improvement in your productivity, your accomplishment, and just overall fulfillment, because you'll have more time to do other stuff. And you'll know that the other stuff is just bonus compared to the critical stuff that you have to do every day. Today, I want to talk about the S word, dirty word, sales, and specifically how to approach sales if you don't like sales or selling. The philosophy that I will share with you has turned regular people into six-figure salesmen within 90 days, multiple times. And I wouldn't say like maybe 70% plus success rate. And I go over the qualifications of the people that like were doing, that I was working with on their sales process when I was running my business in a sec. So the 90-day sales guru. While running my first company, Luminance, I was the primary salesperson for quite a while. That is until I started to build out a sales team. Long story short, I got bogged down with other responsibilities and managerial tasks, and felt like sales was something that I could give to someone else. And from there, I was just like, okay, let's hire some salespeople. Let's get people into sales, and let's start training and getting them up to speed. So from that point on, I was in charge of hiring, training, and managing the sales force, along with obviously my other responsibilities as CEO. And oftentimes I would hire people without sales experience. It was cheaper, and they were able to adapt to the new way of selling that I think sales is going to anyway. Sales in the past was a lot of manipulation, a lot of like volume, like calling 100 people. And I don't think it's going to be like that anymore, just because AI automates a lot of pointless tasks, and a lot of people are kind of fed up with the volume sales approach anyway. So they're already going to have a natural, reluctancy to listen to someone who is going through 100 of the same pitches a day. Right? This new sales approach is going to need something that's a little more sustainable and customizable to the individual interaction. Right? So instead of hiring for sales skills, I hired for tangible soft skills, which I felt were necessary to succeed in sales. Like I said, most of these people had never done sales before, yet even after 90 days, they were making 6 figures in revenue regularly, or bringing in 6 figures, I should say. And so these are some of the questions that I use to vet some of the candidates, and these is just a small sample. Obviously, the interviews were an hour or two long. So, do they learn things quickly? I felt like having someone who was a quick learner, a sponge, if you will, a student of whatever they're learning, would help, you know, us scale faster or scale the sales team faster, get them up to speed and get them producing ROI on their salaries. So I felt like that was a necessary skill. Do they hold themselves accountable? I was busy. I had other parts of my business that I wanted to manage. And I knew that if I had someone I couldn't trust or someone that didn't hold themselves to a standard, that I would have to be running back and forth, checking to make sure that they're doing what they say they were going to do. So self accountability is a big key there for me. And then, do they have enough emotional intelligence? So are they able to read feelings and understand what someone may feel? Do they have empathy? Do they have self-awareness? So like those are the three things, the big three at least. Like I said, I asked multiple questions that I felt like were super necessary for anyone looking to be good at sales or use my strategy, right? In the 3 years of business, I hired 8 people. It was about 8, and almost all of them had some sort of issue with selling. I heard everything from "it feels wrong" to "I don't think I can do it," just flat out "I can't." um, and even with those excuses, even with those rejections, by the end of their first 90 days, most of them were generating at least 6 figures in revenue, and all but one had proven their capacity to close new business independently. All right. And when I say independently, I just mean like no help from me. I'm not sitting there on the sales call with them, walking them through what to say as they're saying it. Like, this is just them doing their own thing. And my training and basis for their success relied on only one concept. You ready? I'm about to tell you the secret. The secret to conversion is conversation. You have heard it before, I'm sure. Many people have said it, but I will break it down a little further than that. But first, of the 8 people or so that started in sales, only one actually wanted to do sales. Every other one was someone who needed a job, needed an opportunity, needed more money. There was an external factor to their motivation to do sales. Right. As for the others, like I said, there was much friction. Outside of that one person, there was friction. And until I shared my sales philosophy, there remained friction. The key to winning business is to have conversation. That's it. It's simple. It doesn't have to be super complicated. I think a lot of people make sales more complicated than it should be. And the phases of sales with this as the ideology or overarching theme is even simpler. The first part of any sales function, whether it's a conversation or a phone call or a video chat, are they ready to have a conversation? And when I say conversation, I mean about your offer, about your business, about their problem. The real conversation that's going to generate buzz around your offer. Are they ready to have one? If you feel like you can't jump into, hey, so what about your business? Hey, what are your problems? That's sensitive topics. So if you feel like you can't jump into that, you probably haven't built the trust required, right? And you do that either off the call when you're engaging with them online, or you do that, on the call and talking about their day, or whatever you feel like could generate rapport. The next part is, can they benefit from your service or offering? That is qualification. Can they actually benefit? And it's not just about can they benefit from your offer, but will you enjoy working with them? You want to qualify their personality fit as well. Probably asking those 3 questions I asked earlier. Do they learn things quickly? Do they hold themselves accountable? Do they have emotional intelligence? Because those make the best clients. Like, for instance, like my current client, like, I don't have to really do too much like nagging about stuff. It's literally like, hey, you should do this. Hey, you should try this. And then she goes and tries it. It says, hey, this was the result of that. It worked. Or, hey, this was the result of that. It did not work. Or, hey, I tried it and I have no clue what I'm doing. Like, I don't have to do the legwork that she is responsible for. And that's what happens when you have someone who's not accountable. You have to do all of the legwork. You have to go back and forth. So also think about this in terms of like your clients as well. Make sure like they're qualified to work with you. What type of client do you want? I got really lucky with my first client. And then the last part of the process, once you qualify them and you've built rapport, is, are they willing to entertain your offer? All right. And this is just a matter of, if you like working with them, they seem interested in what you're offering, or they have a certain amount of pain or a problem that's in their, a thorn in their side. if you offer them this deal, is it good enough for them to take it? Yes or no? And it's not really up to you to decide if it's a yes or no. You just, once you've qualified, you just offer them the deal, and then they have a choice of yes, no, or maybe, right? Maybe is usually an objection. All their questions haven't been answered, or there's something preventing them. It's just a matter of going through the process of resolving that objection. But yes or no, that's it. That's about it. So, like I said, just to go further into the conversational shifts, it's rapport to build trust and familiarity, then qualify to identify a need or a problem and a fit, and then close, offer your solution. That's it. And I don't train on manipulation or deceit because those are immoral shortcuts. I'm not trying to Jedi mind trick people into buying my stuff. I genuinely want people to wake up the next day and feel like they made a great decision. I don't want someone to feel regret for spending money on my offer. You know what I mean? Like, that would suck. So I'm never going to train or teach someone else how to do that. And my key to sales is simply having a genuine conversation that leads to an offer. It's a win-win-win. 3 wins. It's less awkward because I'm having a real conversation. It's not scripted. It's literally just us talking. It's better conversion because there's some form of personal connection that's made during the conversation. And, there's legit empathy and legit pain and legit, wanting to help. And then it's more fulfillment. Like I said, you're having a conversation with someone who's like-minded, who has a similar problem that you might have had. And that makes all the difference, right? If you aren't doing this already, engage in more conversations. Don't just pitch. Pitches are, I'm not going to pitch that, but don't pitch. Have conversations. If you need a rhyme that says what happens and who pitches are for, don't finish it because it's not PG. All right. Doing this and just following this system has allowed me to fill my calendar in the present day whenever I needed. It was what brought me 1.1 million in my first sales or corporate sales job. Landing customers and building the relationship from there. It was the same process I used. I just hadn't defined it yet and refined it. There was a lot of fluff in that. And then it's the same process that scaled my company to 2.5 million that first year. Right. And it works. It's applicable to me now. I've already booked 3 meetings this month, or already been on 3 meetings this month, and I haven't really scaled my effort. It's just been regular conversation with people who I've been talking to for a little while. And those turned into meetings. Cool. And then as far as my client, she's booking almost a meeting a day. So I don't think it's something that you can't apply to yourself when it comes to building online. And if you need help implementing the strategy or would like to, start landing clients as soon as possible, I have 2 slots for April up for grabs. 2 out of 4 slots available. Looking to fill those. I think once I fill those, I'll probably hold off. Might not even open anymore next month. If I do, it'll probably be 1 or 2 again. Like I said, I just want to make sure that I have enough attention on the clients that need the attention before I go and add more work for me. So just to be fair to people who are paying, I'd want them to get value first before I go and add stuff in there. If you are interested in taking one of those 2 slots, or both, if you want both slots, just reply with scale. And then if you're not on Substack or you didn't receive the newsletter, go ahead and subscribe. But before you subscribe, just send an email to waitlist@boiseGordon.com. And you should be able to, send something there. Just say you're interested or you want to know more. And then we can start a conversation. All right. Well, today has been a very productive day. So thank you guys for stopping by. I appreciate, all the support. And even if it's just a view, that's fine. I like my ghosts. I myself was a lurker back in the day. But yeah, reach out whenever. Like I said, don't just reach out for if you want to hear more about my offer. If you need advice, like, I'm open to doing Q&As as well. Probably make an email for that. But if you have a question about your business, just send it to waitlist@boisegordon.com. Ah, man. I'm pooped. And I'm about to go to the gym in about an hour and a half. So gonna relax a little bit, chill out. This is like the last thing I had to do for the day. And I actually got done an hour early with lunch, and I made breakfast. So, all right, guys, enjoy your days, and peace.